Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Happy May 30th. It is the end of May. It is Friday, the end of the week, the end of May. I would believe some institutions have some quotas to hit. Can we expect volatility? Can we expect some type of extra momentum? Hopefully so, especially because this week has been extremely range bound. Other than we had this Tuesday, we have been, well, Monday and Tuesday, which Monday gave us that dip into our support area around 57.73. Found support when we shot up from Monday into Tuesday. However, since Tuesday, we have been very range bound. So Wednesday, Thursday, starting today. So let's start off by marking our previous day high, previous day low. First thing I do want to note here is we took out, so first off, let's put this back for a second. And we're looking at yesterday. Yesterday, we took out this previous day high pre-market, and the reason we took that out with such strength is because of the federal court impacting Trump's tariffs. Now, since then, guess what? A day passed, tariffs are back in play. Ridiculousness, I know. Can't go more than a day without something changing with these tariffs. What I'd like to see, so let me get to why I'm mentioning this. We took our previous day high. We looked real strong. Market opened up and the market just went weak. It stayed weak. It pushed back lower. Took our previous day low at some point. So something I would like to see today, because we already took out that previous day low, is I'd like to see if we could get back above our opening price, and I'll look for some type of long position entry if given the right buying opportunity and good buying volume. So I really want to see how the market wants to play out from this point. But because I see we took out previous day low and rejected back in within the range, I wouldn't want to go short above previous day low in case we want to hold and stay range bound again. We could check our 4-hour time frame, make sure we're not in anything. I do see I had a 90-minute demand zone right here, and I see it was broken yesterday, so I'm going to delete the zone part. And you guys see how this 90-minute, the level itself, 59.22, see how well it worked as a key level, 22, 22, 22, 22, 22. So that 22 and 26 are very strong. I'm going to be keeping an eye on these two levels to see how they react. So this area right here, these two key levels, I'm going to put a rectangle tool between them. So I'm able to see, okay, hey, listen, this is my area of control. And not only is it my area of control because it's my key level, but if I'm looking at our volume profile right here from yesterday, this is in fact our point of control too, right at that 59.22. So I'm going to bring our volume profile. This is the 30-minute right now. Let's see, actually, we'll delete the 30. No, we'll keep the 30-minute. We'll go to the 15, because the 15, okay, here we go. 15 is on our 6 o'clock candle from last night. That brings us into Friday. Futures markets are open 23 hours. So this would be our daily volume profile. And it's sort of looking like a P-shape. A P-shape on a volume profile is normally bullish because it shows that volume is much heavier to the upside. So if we drew this out as light volume to the downside, then it starts to pick up over here. Now this one isn't the best version of a P shape, and the reason for that is because I'd usually like to see more low volume like this going higher and then the P, but it's sort of started to buff out over here already. So we'll be patient, we'll keep an eye on these zones and levels as well, and we'll see how we want to react. So because it's range bound, I wouldn't want to trade anything in between. I would want to look to short the highs and buy the lows. It's the only way I would trade this range right now. Guys, good morning, YouTube. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday, May 30th. I hope you guys are excited for another great trading day. I know I am. Let's see, hoping to end the week in the green. I know markets have been quite choppy lately. Again, past few days, price action has been very poor. So we'll go back to that daily time frame. Previous day high, previous day low. Go to our 6-hour. We probably shouldn't see any supply or demand. Nope. 4-hour, I do not see anything. 3-hour, nothing. And it looks like I already have a 1-hour demand zone right there. So I'll check the 2-hour just to make sure I'm not missing anything. And something I do see is this 1-hour could have been a 2-hour had I put it up here at that 5,900 level. But I don't. And guys, with supply and demand, it helps us see where our ranges are, because we saw yesterday we came into this range and it became very difficult for the shorts. Even though shorts continued to remain in control, longs made it very difficult. Sometimes dips were getting bought back up. It was very range bound. Hey, good morning, Fairchild. Happy Friday, man. Happy Friday. We had economic news this morning, and that's what gave us that little bit of a move up here at 8:30. And I believe that news was, and we could take a quick dive. We had core PCE, okay, and personal income. All right, I like it. Let's see. Forecast was 0.1%, actual was 0.1%, prior was 0%. Okay, so not giving us too much information on that. Later in the day, guys, I will go over that as always and make some type of short video for you guys covering what's going on core PCE and personal income, right? Is our middle class, lower class, is the economy, right? The middle class people that are really the economy, and middle lower class, not talking about the 1%ers. How are they doing? Are they finally starting to save? Personal income starting to build up higher again against inflation? Is it not? All these things factor in. Something else I wanted to do today, guys, a little different with Bookmap, was I wanted to add, and we'll see, Trade Map Lite. I wanted to add, so you guys see how I have the session volume profile, I have the current order book, I have the time and sales. Time and sales, I don't use too much. I'm going to hide this one for now, and what I want to do is I want to add a new column, and this new column is going to be RTH, right? And that will be the regular trading hours. That's when the New York session is open. So we call it RTH, we could call it New York session, whatever we want to call it. Call it New York Knicks, Knicks in 7, whatever you think. So we could look at this, and does it give us, okay, let's see, chart range, session range, chart range counter, session range counter. Doesn't let us do the specific session. I'll have to look into this. Current order book. What if we did session range volume profile again? Does that again give us the option? It does not. Alright, that's fine. I'll figure that out another time. Or if any of you know how to do that, it's got to be a setting in here. Session range accumulator. Let's try. We could do chart range. Yeah, chart range would be okay. We'll give it a shot today. Chart range VP. CRVP, that's chart range volume profile. Reason I am going to be trying this today is to see if we could spot some of those low volume nodes, things like that, on our charts. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Now this one we're going to show volume, let's see, show VWAP is on. No, we'll turn show VWAP off because this is just for our chart. We don't want our specific chart VWAP. Bars and numbers, we want to do background color is the same. Isn't that interesting? They let you change the background color. They should just let you change the whole entire background in one button. Good morning, guys. YouTube guys, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Going over some Bookmap right now, going over some price levels. Let's see, some ES, NQ, and everything else. So now look, guys, when you go back, the chart range will change. Check this out. This price right here, look at this no volume shelf. We came into it right here, we hit it, and then we pulled back from it. Strong little pullback there. Those low volume shelves are very strong price levels. Come into this one over here, chop around on it. Right now we are still currently trading on it, but it looks like we're sort of okay there. Trying to see where I want it lined up on we'll see. Again, we'll play around with it when market opens a little bit. Let's get back to our pre-market plan, find our predetermined levels and areas of interest. So 15-minute time frame. Again, something I'd be looking out for today is those fake breakouts, right? And that would be breakouts to the downside, the upside. I do see that we're in an hourly demand zone right here between, this is on the ES, this is between 58.68 to 58.91, and I see that yesterday that was our lows. Last night it worked as a low as well, a pre-market low. Earlier again this morning, 8 o'clock it worked and held as our low, so I would want to see if buyers want to step in around this 58.90 area again. And this is also a low volume shelf down there too. I see that every time we try to make lows, buyers are able to bring us back higher for a little bit of a rally. A little bit of a rally, a little bit of a rally. So I'm going to be looking for buyers down here. I do have a supply zone. We'll mark this supply zone out right here. And it's not the best of zones because it has our basing, which is great. It has our sell-off, but it doesn't have much continuation. It was an area, though, that sellers were present. And if we look right beforehand, it was a support zone. Now it's a resistance zone. So this is going to be my next area of supply. So this is going to be our S15 minute. And I'm going to make this area blue so I don't confuse it with the supply zone. This is our key level, key zone right here, 59.22, 59.26. Major level yesterday in the morning. So let's see how the market wants to react to it again if we can get back up there. Check the 30-minute time frame, really just going through our time frame analysis, making sure we're not missing anything. I do have a 4-hour right here that was broken with that pre-market news when they announced the no more tariffs, and then of course that got reversed. Let's see. I'm trying to see if we're in it long enough for me to just delete it. Same with this other top one up here. See if we created any new supply or demand zones up here as well. Would look for a supply zone because we have our push lower from this point. And I don't, as strong of a move we had here, I don't see anything on my time frame analysis that suggests we had an area where we were basing. Now obviously we see consolidation right here. Go to maybe a 2-hour, a 1-hour, and it's a bit more clear that about over here was our range, right? This was our range, then this was our sell-off. So I'm going to keep this 4-hour right here. I also had a 2-hour at 6,000, so I am going to keep those two levels. This is a new supply zone, so today I'm really going to be watching these two. We're going to go with 1. This is our demand zone, and then 2 would be our supply zone up here. And these are the two main levels I'm going to be keeping an eye on today on the ES. I want to check 45-minute and look at this is our volume profile for our weekly time frame now, guys. Look, this was put on May 25th. This is Sunday, our volume profile, and it is a P shape, if anything. I mean, it really does just have low volume to the downside and upside. Very difficult price action, which again makes me want to look for some type of long at the lows or short at the highs, right? Can we get an entry at a low volume shelf somewhere up here in this 2 area? Look at how the volume starts to fall off here. This volume profile, guys, is measuring the entire week. So this area right here where this number 2 is, if we extend it to the left, we see price traded into this area a few times, and it did work as resistance in the past. So this is really something I want to be looking for today because the low volume's there too, and it's the top of our volume profile range. The volume average is also up there as well. So we'll keep an eye on this. If we do have a strong bullish move, though, let's say there's some type of bullish sentiment in the market, we'll look at equities as well. But we do want to start rallying. If we start rallying, hit 59.05, hit 59.10, 59.30. Now again, realistic with the market. If we could rally maybe 45 points, which would be a pretty strong move, not unheard of, but not necessarily happening frequent enough lately that I would expect it to happen right now. But we got to prepare for everything. Don't expect it, but prepare for it, right? Prepare for everything. If we break above this 2 level, I will look for a retest of it to go long. I might also look for a similar move off of this 59.24, 59.26 as well. I haven't been a big fan of these point of controls lately, especially in these range-bound markets. So let's get into the NASDAQ now. We got our ES all marked up, looking all pretty for us. Start on our daily on NQ. And same situation as ES, right? Where we took out, yesterday, we took out previous day high with that economic news. It came back and then went all the way as low as previous day low. Today, we already took out previous day low, and we reversed back higher again. So, again, would it be out of the ordinary for us to range back and go all the way to that previous day high? Absolutely not. Look at this day right here. This day right here is 480 points on the NASDAQ. So, again, if we're looking for 540 points, 520 points, it's not that unheard of, especially now recently. So something I might keep an eye on. Oof. All right, let's see. Good morning, guys. Good morning, everyone. Random, what's up? What's up? What's up?
What's going on?
What's going on? Happy Friday, man. Any plans for the weekend?
Yeah, man, I'm getting the CDs put in this weekend and some other stuff. Yeah, it's gonna be a
Nice.
nice weekend.
Cool, dude. Hell yeah. Alright, let's see. So let's start on that daily on NQ. Again, took out previous day low, come down to a 6 hour, 4 hour. First thing I noticed, I already do have a demand zone right here. Same situation as ES, where we had a smaller demand zone that started lower, but it could have been a higher time frame demand zone that started a bit higher. Like this is a 4 hour. And again, this held as a low, a low, a low, a low, a low. Buyers are stepping into this area. 3 hour, 2 hour, 1 hour. And again, I'm just browsing through these time frames sort of quickly so I could get a feel of these major highs and lows. So right here I saw in the 3 hour, we have a basing right here off of this supply zone. And I can't even tell what supply zone this is. A 1 hour. It's 1 hour, there we go. Now we could draw a new supply zone over it because it created over an older zone. So do S 1 hour. Supply, I'm sorry, S 3 hour. This is now a 3 hour supply zone. So again, if we are looking bullish today, this is our new supply zone on the NASDAQ, and that's again 412 points away. Wouldn't be out of the ordinary, wouldn't be unheard of, could possibly be possible. We will have to see. Let's see. 1 hour, looking for anything of interest right here. I sort of want to delete this 90-minute because it was ran through like that. I wish this area worked better yesterday. This, it's at 513 to 562 was major resistance for like, let's see, for a couple weeks now. We broke it yesterday, but nothing held yesterday. When it comes to an economic change, which indicator are you using for diamond zone? So it's supply and demand zones, right? And I don't use any indicators for them. I use the trend line, or I'll use the horizontal ray, it's called, on TradingView. I'll mark that at the open price of, I'm sorry, the close price of the candle. Because if it's a demand zone, let's see. No, the open price, yeah. Because if it's a demand zone, it's going on a red candle at the top of the red candle, which is the opening price. And then I use the rectangle tool to mark out the low. And that will give me my demand zone. So this would be, might make this green demand, take the key level portion, make this a D1 hour, because this is on the hourly time frame, and that's how I find my zones. I do have a video up as well, guys, if anybody wants to see it on YouTube, how to find my supply and demand. Let's see, 2 hour, Really just looking to see what's going on at these pivots. If there's anything major I should be keeping an eye on. And then what we'll do is we'll go to a lower time frame to see more recent price action, to see if there's any new zones that have formed lately. And same situation I'm seeing on NASDAQ that we saw on ES, where we're taking out lows, we reverse back higher. We're taking out lows, we reverse back higher. This low was taken out as previous day low. Last night, reversed back higher. Last night's low was taken out. This morning, reversed back higher. If by chance we're able to take this low out one more time, I'd like to see us reverse back higher. I don't think we will, to be honest, because I think that we're going to be able to hold this and push back higher bullish for a little bit. I think this sell-off yesterday might have really flipped people to the other side and went bearish, so I want to see how that wants to react. Of course, we do not predict the market, we just react to it, so we'll see how things play out. Let's see. Alright, so this is a NASDAQ. We can now look at our 15-minute time frame, 30-minute time frame. And again, just looking to see if there's any supply zones or areas of interest that are more recent. Here's our 30-minute. What did we do on ES? Did we keep it on the 30? We kept it on the 30. So we'll drag this up from Tuesday to Wednesday to Thursday, because this is now going to be our Friday, our daily volume profile. And we see it's very range bound. We see there's low volume at the lows, low volume at the highs. 45-minute time frame. This is now our weekly. And again, a bit of the same situation, right? We have this is an area of resistance for a little while now. There's a low volume up there. And then area of support, demand, volume has been accumulating down here in this demand zone. So we could look to buy the lows near the low volume and then look to sell the highs, target the highs. We'll be patient on it though. We'll watch to see how the market wants to react on a smaller scale, meaning a lower time frame when the market opens up. Yesterday, it did not have a good time for the bulls. With that being said, we could look at something like gold and see that, ooh, look at this guy's gold up here. We were waiting for that supply zone to hit on gold. And look at the rejection it gave, right? It broke the supply zone, finally gave us a red candle. Now, when we look for a supply or demand zone, if we need help finding an entry point, sometimes it's good to wait for maybe a 5-minute candle to close in your direction. If we were, like, this is an example of a bullish move into a supply zone. So where would you go short? Well, you wouldn't go short off of a green candle. You'd go short once sellers take control. When do sellers take control? When it shows we're finally starting to close back lower again. That could have been your possible entry short. Confirmation also being the supply zone. Stop loss somewhere above that recent candle high. And you could have looked to short. Look at that. It took a while, but it was a pretty good move. Let's see. So let's delete that. Pretty good area on gold right there. Now something I would keep an eye on is that previous day high, previous day low. Now we're zooming in on gold. Now gold, we mentioned on yesterday's stream, and I think throughout the week really, how gold has been in a tough point. We're trying to make some lower highs, we're trying to make some lower lows, but gold being so close to these all-time highs right over here, only about 6% away, it's definitely closer to the bull side than something like ES and NQ. But we'll see. We'll have to see. Let's see. So let's mark out previous day low is all the way down here. Now previous day high is up here. And something I'll note is yesterday we took out previous day high and closed green. So with that being said, I'll look for previous day high and for us to close green again today. But it's really going to depend on volume and market structure. Let's see. 4 hour, 3 hour. Just looking to see what we have, if anything's cooking over here for us. 6 hour, nothing. Really not seeing much. I do have, here we go, we'll mark this out as a 2 hour demand. I like this blue zone, works very well as an area of interest. So now that I have that area of interest there and a demand zone right here, that gives me more strength towards this demand zone. It tells me that there's a good chance buyers are definitely active in this area and might be able to possibly find some longs on gold here. So let's mark this out as our D2 hour. And I see that, look at this, buyers did step in a couple times there on gold. So this is sort of our range I'm looking for on gold right now. We can look at our 45-minute for our volume profile. Make sure it's on perfect Sunday the 25th. And gold's volume profile is not helpful at all on the weekly right now. Other than showing me the low volume profile shelf, low volume shelf here, around 3310 to 3300, which helps this demand zone. It also has a low volume shelf around here in the supply zone. And again, this was an area of resistance. We can move this higher now. We want to wait on this. We definitely want to wait on this. Because now also we're creating this order block. This is a 45-minute sort of like an order block. I wouldn't really call this one a supply zone. And the reason I wouldn't call it a supply zone because the move itself isn't that much bigger than the zone itself. The zone is about 10-11 points. The move is only about 20 points. So yes, it's double, but usually for a nice supply zone, I like to look for maybe triple the move, right? I want a big move out of a smaller zone sometimes, most of the time, because it usually lines up with our time frame analysis. So this might be where I'd look for a pullback on gold. We'll see. I'm going to lighten this zone up a little bit because, again, I'm not marking it as a supply, just an area where I'd see some resistance. I look to see if this 15 minute could continue higher, maybe create an order block right here. But right now, I'm not seeing too much. Let's bring this 15 minute volume profile to today. It's Thursday, 6 o'clock. And low volume shelf right here. That's right where we're about to move into. And that's about it. Again, low volume to the highs up here, so 33.50 might be an area I might want to take a short on gold today. We could take a look at our volume footprint and our book map as well. I see 33.35. It's pretty strong on gold to the downside, 33.35 right here. So let's see that 33.35. We'll mark it out with the trend line, make it purple, so we know it's a book map level. 33.35. Looks like there's 114 lots of selling pressure right there. So I'll look to see if we reject that zone, especially because it is also a low volume shelf too. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll add our alert, add a couple alerts, and we'll see what's cooking with that. And we can take a look at oil as well. We already went over ES and NQ. I do like to look for equities too to see where equities are trading. Look at this rejection, guys, on NVIDIA right off of my key level, 143.44, almost exactly. That is crazy. And off of this zone too, again, this was this area of resistance now. So range bound on NVIDIA, looking to push back lower. Take a look at oil. I already don't like oil anymore. I still don't like oil, guys. I haven't liked oil for weeks, months. I'm not going to like oil again. I will like oil again once markets finally come around, but oil markets are very hard to trade right now, in my opinion. Crude oil, previous day high, previous day low. We can look at yesterday's price action, see how yesterday's price action was moving. I see we're trying to hold this demand zone now. This is an area of support down here, another area of support down here, and this broken area of supply did end up working as supply. Delete this, delete this. Just deleting anything that's old that I might find useless. 30 minute, check that 30, 45, 90, 1 hour. Really just browsing through these time frames, seeing if I see anything. 2 hour, 3 hour. Ideally looking like over here, over here, over here, because I'm looking at the major pivots when I'm looking for my supply and demand zones. 4 hour, gotta be something. No, I'm really not seeing much. So again, probably going to be staying out of oil completely today. We're on a don't trade oil streak. But gold's been pretty nice. NASDAQ, ES, they've been pretty nice. Just these past couple of days been very choppy. See how we want to trade after that. Hourly just closed a few minutes ago. We can see how that hourly candle closed. A little bit of a basing right here. A little bit of a push lower, but we ended up holding this demand zone again. So I'd really be patient. I'd maybe look to see how the next hourly candle wants to close. If it wants to close bullish, I'll look bullish. If it wants to reject back lower and then wick higher again, I'll look bullish. If it wants to push lower and close lower, we'll probably look bearish. It is 9:05, guys. Markets open in 25 minutes. We're back on the NASDAQ. We'll look at the ES as well. Let's see. Let's pull up.
NASDAQ, I'm hoping it stays above 100, because if it doesn't, we're going to get a visit down back into the 200s, like middle 200s at least.
Yeah, no, I know. I was thinking the same thing. If buyers can't hold it at any point, if we start zipping lower, we're definitely taking out pre-market lows at 227. So I could see us hitting 200. Is that what you're talking about? Or you're just saying the 200s, like,
Yeah,
below
I guess.
300?
Yeah, like I'll give you an example. Like the weekly open was approximately 308. Depends on what software you're using. So let's say 300, right?
Yep.
Of last week. So if it can't hold above there, then I was just looking at like buy points, like from the previous week into this week, and that would be into the mid 200s or your level, like, yeah, let's say between 200 and 250, but it could do it, right?
Yup.
So,
Gotcha. I see you. I see you. Also, guys, I'm
and if it
glad.
holds, we're looking at in the 500s, which is why I'm saying, we could give it a bit of breathing room because just from a trading perspective, you don't need to catch, you know, every point, right?
Yep. Yep. Now I'm glad you mentioned the weekly too. Look at the weekly time frame right now. We had a strong green candle until it was rejected lower. So depending on where this daily closes today on Friday, today's Friday, we'll close the weekly candle out too, and that could give us a bit of a clearer direction if we want to reject back lower. Let's check. What I want to see also is how have the previous Fridays been trading. Well, this was last Friday. We dipped lower into an area of support. Friday before that was green. I'm just looking to see if there's any pattern to it, any rhyme or reason. There's really not. Really does seem every other. It has been every other until this one right here. Alright, so really no rhyme or reason on that. Not looking for any trends on that. Let's see. Yeah, real range bound. We'll see. We'll trade it carefully today. Small scalps. Buying low, selling highs, staying patient. Yo, YouTube guys, good morning, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. What? Oh, that's so weird. I guess OBS had an update and it like syncs. Nope, I don't even know, man. Alright guys, market opens in 20 minutes. I've got ES at this demand zone down here, trying to push back lower again. Really going to be patient today, guys. See how markets want to react and where we want to react. Right now we have a no volume shelf right here on this chart volume profile between 59.10 and 59.13. So let's mark that out on ES 59.10 to 59.13. That's this area right here. We'll call it FVG. We'll call it a fair value gap because it does overlap with the fair value gap. See that right here? This is the FVG. This is that low no volume print. So this is where I'd probably look for some shorts too. 59.10, 59.12.50. So again, this area right here. Probably look for a 3-point stop loss on it. 3.5, look to target demand. So there we go. Again, looking to trade the range. I'm not looking for a big trend trade here. Just looking to sort of sell the highs, buy the lows. So this might be our first setup that we're looking for today on ES, everybody. Might be. Gotta let the market develop. Gotta let it come to us. Add an alert here on ES. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. What's up, Charlie, Mike, Ozzy? What's going on, guys? Good morning. You guys are ready for a killer trading day. Markets open in T-minus 10 minutes.
20.
What's that?
20 minutes.
20 minutes. What did I say, 10 minutes? 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I wake up in 10 minutes, and then market opens in 20 minutes.
Yeah, man, get some kids. You won't be sleeping in. You'll be up at 5 and 5:30 every morning.
Oh, jeez, dude. Guys, sounds like I'll be trading a lot longer. Oh, what I get an alert on? What's that? Gold. Okay. Interesting. GC. We want to see how we react to that 33, 35 area up here. Yo, what's up, Concentrator? Funny name, man. Funny name. Concentrator. Not concentrator. Concentrator. Love it. Dr. Algo Sniper. Cool names, guys. What's up, Garrett? What's up, Shane? Good morning, guys. TW Barber, good morning, guys. Hope you guys are doing well, ready for a great trading day. Gold's rejecting that area before that 33, 35. While markets are a little sideways, I'm going to do a quick little write-up on what we're looking at today. Let's put, I'm trying to think. This is 30-minute, and this is what? Let's delete this one. I don't need that anymore. But let's put this 15-minute back on that 30-minute, though. Oh, is this our open price? It is our open price, Thursday. Good. Our open price is right near that low volume shelf, too. Very interesting. So here are the two main areas I'm looking for. And then number 3 would be this more intraday area that I'm looking for. Grab a quick screenshot of that. Any edge full stats that I could use to tag them. YouTube, make sure you guys hit that like button. I do appreciate all the support. Like to do what we do here. Go live Monday through Friday for our beautiful community at Bullishbrs. And Monday and Friday for you great people on YouTube. Somebody said something in the main chat. Good morning, TW Barber. Good morning, good morning. Let's get some potatoes today. Yes, sir. All right, let's see. Do our write-up on ES. So what are we looking for today on ES? Well, markets have been very range-bound today. So ES, SPY, S&P 500. Again, just doing a write-up. It's important that we have some type of write-up every morning. Now, guys, you should also be doing your own pre-market analysis. It's important to join me for mine, right? To get an understanding of what am I looking at today? What could I be seeing that maybe you're missing? And it's also just important to be part of a community because you might get information that you wouldn't know by yourself. With that being said, it's important to have your own pre-market plan too because you could watch over time while they develop what works best for you strategy-wise, what works best for you that you have noticed or that you haven't noticed, what isn't working for you, right? Maybe you should be looking for something extra in your pre-market plans, but you won't know that until you start making those pre-market plans, until you start making that difference. So ES, SPY, S&P 500, what's been going on? Well, markets have been very range-bound lately. The past few days, sellers would fail and buyers would fail. There's a lot of uncertainty since the federal court tried to block Trump's tariffs. And yields have hit over 5%. Right, so I'm thinking of things and I'm going over things that I've covered recently that's affecting the market and will affect the market, right? What's causing this uncertainty and this chop in the market? Well, it's not lack of volume. There's always going to be volume in the markets. What causes uncertainty is these issues, these economic issues and inputs. So let's see, Trump hit over 5%. And Musk stepped down from Doge. So again, Musk stepping down from Doge, probably not the biggest of dilemmas, but just
He was mandatory though. It's crazy. Don't you think that people like from the beginning he was supposed to step down end of May, and they're making a big deal about it. But at the beginning they're like, he's got to step down at the end of May, and if he doesn't, this is a dictatorship.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. I didn't realize they announced that he was supposed to step down in May. I knew that
For a month straight, the Democrats were on every platform saying that he's never going to leave office. It's an oligarchy. Watch, he's not going to leave in May. And then he was getting questioned, and then it went away because, we're wired short. It's in our DNA. We don't remember this stuff. So then they go quiet, right? So then he announces that he's stepping down, and they're like, look, he's quitting. You just have to go back, like, on any of these Democrats' Twitter accounts or X accounts, and they were, like, all over this when he first came in. Watch, he's never going to leave. He's got to step down at 180 days, or whatever, 120 days, something like that.
Right. Oh, wow. All right, listen, then good for them for finally following a rule, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, right. And he's back in the White House. New 128 days.
Yeah, that would be killer if he did that.
All right, so zone one I'm looking for on ES here is this demand zone. 1 hour demand, I'll be looking for buying pressure between 58.70 and about 58.90. Zone two. Let's see, zone two. Also, I am looking to see if these shorts do want to step in up here. I would consider that. Right up in here. Zone two. Supply. What is that? 15-minute supply. 15-minute supply. This was an area of support. Then broken. Now resistance. We'll look for selling pressure between 593, 5934, and 5944. And then zone 3. Zone 3 is that more recent one that we're looking at. This is a recent low volume shelf off a FVG. I will look for an intraday scalp / trade off of this zone. 58.10 to 58.13. 58.13. All right, there we go. Ooh, are we getting into that? Let's see. Getting into it? Whew. Damn, gold, by the way, man. It rejected. I had the entry point a little before that 35 level. Look at that. That would have been in and out. See, ES pulling up. We got, now it's 10 minutes till market opens. I got it right this time.
Kevin, you're too young to be losing your memory.
Bro, I'm too young for a lot of things, but we're here now. All right, come on, ES. Let's see. It's not a lack of memory. It's too much beep going on.
Yeah, it's pretty funny how you get really complicated initially when you start things, but then eventually it kind of becomes second nature, right?
Absolutely. 100%. All right, let's see. ES is pretty close to that zone right now. We had a strong move into it. We have 10 minutes till market opens. We shall see. Right in this zone right here. So what I like to look for, guys, when I'm looking at price moving on Bookmap, sometimes it's hard to see where price is in relation to the bid and the ask and the buy and sell bubbles. So what I look at is this grayed out line right here, because I'm usually looking at the volume profile anyways. So I'll look at wherever the grayed out line is in relation to the zones or levels that I'm looking at. Yo, what's up, Wired Moon? Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the community. Always good to have some new faces in here. So we've been Ton of new people. Love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. Market's open
It's
in...
those streams, Kev.
Yes, sir. Gotta bring the best for the best. Let's see.
I'm looking for a scalp move here, rejection, on NQ into the 382 to 390, hopefully.
Scalp rejection, obviously rejection back lower.
Yeah, I'm not bearish or anything. Just
Quick
just seeing if I can get. In fact, it's making some pretty good progress right now to the upside. So it would just be like a rejection, and if it can hold, let's say as an example, would turn around. If it can hold into the 350s, right? So maybe a 30-40 point rejection to if it was going to keep going up.
Gotcha. We can see where our gap fill is to where we closed yesterday. Give us an idea of a price level. 330 close, 30-minute time frame. This is our gap fill. All right. Gap's up there. I'm not interested in it right now. Yeah, I want to try to take this short on ES at 59.10, so that sort of lines up with your short on NQ up here. Bearish
What are you looking
action.
for NQ today? Like we have a gap,
Voices
I
available.
believe. It depends on your timing, right? Old versus new, but I think it's like in the 470, right? Is it 470?
Yeah, hold up. I want to make sure. YouTube, could you guys hear me all right? They were saying something about my voice being low.
I got 338 on a 5-minute for that one.
338 on the 5-minute at
Test.
5 p.m. close. I always track the 415.
Test.
That's like
Is that
the
any
old,
better? That should be
the
better.
old school close.
Put the gain up. Olaf, you asked what indicators do I use? I don't use any indicators. I have VWAP on my chart sometimes, but I like to use volume.
I see what you mean.
Volume profile, supply and demand. I mark out my
on
own zones,
open
my own pre-market.
From the close yesterday, like NQ close, I think it's about 470.
Yo, Lil AR, I can be bearish sometimes. Guys, if you're here on YouTube, make sure you're showing some support, showing some love, hitting that like button. Follow me on social media. Follow us. We got Bullishbrs on social media. I do a lot of collaborations with Benzinga on social media. You see all my breakdowns there. What can I say, guys? I do what I do. I like to do what I do. And it's fun. And it's educational. Gotta be educational. My goal with those videos, yo, you got it, Olaf. My goal with the short-term videos, like the shorts, 30 seconds, educate you guys on what's going on in the economy. Long-term videos, long-format videos on YouTube, teach you guys how to day trade, trading methods, risk management, webinars, different trading strategies, systems, tools. There's so much to learn. But you have to remember, guys, whatever you're learning should already be somewhat part of your strategy and system. You do not want to go out of your way to try to learn something if you, one, haven't before, and two, already have something that's sort of working for you. If you feel like you're doing something that's already working in your favor, there's no reason to try to switch things up. Stay consistent with what you're doing, and you will find that consistency. The point of trading and becoming a trader is that obviously we don't want to have to listen to a boss. We want to at some point replace your income. Okay, great. Everybody wants that, whether they're traders or not. But to be a trader, we have to create a system and we have to be systematic. We have to take yeses and nos. If this, then this. Is the chart telling you to take a trade? Yes, then take the trade. How much should you risk on the trade? You should know depending on A, B, and C. All different things that we should be aware of.
Here we go. It hit 382, right? Rejected 40 points. Nice.
Yeah, man, what the hell? Your moves getting in the way of mine.
Well, scalp moves are a lot more schizophrenic. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, who's paying attention to a scalper, right?
That's really funny. They're more schizophrenic. That's funny, guys. If you're a scalper, you heard it here first. No. Go see your doctor.
It's like you're looking for 40-point moves. You're looking for 200-300-point moves, which is a better move.
No.
But,
200-300.
Look at that, idiot.
What do we smoke?
The 350 and then pumped.
So we have two types of traders: the ones that are smoking crack, looking for 200 or 300 points, and then we have the schizophrenics that are looking for 20 points.
Join Bullishbrs, right?
Yeah. Nah, listen. All jokes aside, right? We have fun here, but we learn here constantly. Every day is a lesson when it comes to the market. Got to take advantage of it. Gotta take some money, right? Make some money with it. Markets don't care that you're making a little money. Don't think the markets are after your stop loss. That's silly. Just think of if you were in a trade right before you enter a trade, ask yourself, if you were in a trade right now, where would your stop loss be? Okay, where's that stop loss? Are we close to that stop loss? Could that stop loss get invalidated and then continue in your direction? If there's a chance that that could happen, then maybe you should move your stop loss down a little bit or up depending on the trade you're in. If that's not the case, right, then take that trade. Our stop loss should be wherever our analysis is incorrect. If I was going long over here off this higher low, I'd put my stop loss at the higher low because I'd want to make sure that, well, my analysis is correct. We're making higher lows, we're making higher highs, we're going bullish. If my analysis is incorrect, we'll break this higher low and we'll go back bearish, but I'll at least stop out where my analysis is wrong. 2.5 minutes till market opens. Guys, I'm grabbing a water. Make sure you guys stay hydrated. YouTube, I don't see you guys hitting that like button. Don't make me come over there. I'll call the market right now and tell them to shut it down today. Alright guys, market opens in 2.5 minutes. We're getting there, slow and steady. Slow and steady, shorts the race. Did I just get a gold alert? What did I just get on my watch? Nope. Oh, ES maybe? Let's see. So look, I'm looking at this low volume shelf. This is our chart range volume profile. I want to see how volume pushes into here. We could also see the session volume profile delta, see if there's selling volume when we push into there.
Yeah, if we stay above the 300s, I'm pretty pumped about like maybe up into the 500s, 550 kind of move today.
Yeah.
Just my personal like short-term analysis of like where I'd want to take it, right?
Gotcha. Alright, let's see. We're getting close, man. I probably don't want to take this trade because market opens in literally 50 seconds. But, we could at least watch it play out. I mean, I could take it just light size. Stops me out. Tis a scratch. But 30 seconds left. I'm not doing that. Got some support under us. Cumulative volume delta's pushing higher. Not taking this short right here. I mean, listen, market opens and we fail a little bit. Wouldn't be completely against it, but we'll see. I don't look at equities. I'm pretty sure equities are probably range bound still. Yeah, all equities are range bound, if not moving lower. Let's see where market opens.
Yeah, we'll see if we reject right here for
Yeah,
right here would be a rejection if it was going to.
I'm gonna try this lightly with a short here on ES off that rejection. Let's see what we get. Nice, very fast move in our favor. I'll probably look to get out of one contract right there, holding just one. Modify, great. Great. So now I'll hold. I'm gonna hold. I got out of one contract right here, looking to hold this runner. See if we could at least go revisit demand one more time. That was a nice entry, man, off of that low volume shelf up here. Right up here. Very nice. Nice, look at this guy, it's huge. Boom. YouTube guys hit that like, let's see. You think we go to demand 58.91? Or we create a higher low here? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to manually exit. So we lock in those gains because market just opened. I'm not a fan of holding that long into market open. Not a fan of taking trades into market open, but seeing that we were at my key level, my area, the area I wanted to take a short, once we started to fail that and I saw price was failing and selling pressure was starting to pick up here, we took that short with confidence. We were able to profit off of that. It was a very quick, strong move in our favor. Good way to start the day. Yes, sir. You got it. What's up, Happy Journey? The reason I did get out so soon, though, is because I was worried that we were creating some higher lows here on the lower time frame off of this demand zone. So I didn't want to try to hold it to this, even though, I mean, we could go for these lows. We have been taking lows out lately. But again, with the chance of us going back higher, that makes it more of a 50-50, 60-40. I don't like those odds. I'd much rather, if I'm already in the green on this trade, just manually stop out, lock in some gains. And again, it's 7 points, 8 points real quick right off the open. 3 point stop loss, 2-1 on that. Yes, sir. Let's see. There we go. It looks better to the downside.
Yeah, we could get, like, it's not bearish yet, but we could get a visit to that VWAP at 30, right?
Yep.
Oh, wait, I'm watching NQ 330. But
You have VWAP at 330. I have VWAP on NASDAQ at 349. There goes ES again. Oh, this looks good, guys. Let's see. Might look to
Might be
re-enter
WAP is
one
schizophrenic.
contract. What's that?
Maybe WAP's schizophrenic.
Bro, you gotta give your
That-
charts
That
your
gap close,
minutes.
that 5 minute gap close.
Which gap, Phil?
That 5 minute on NQ I was talking about earlier.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, the 338, or right?
That was pretty clean, man. That was a nice quick move.
338.25.
Oh, we're going for it. We are going for it. Give me a quick wick back up. 20-second wick back up. I'll take a re-entry. Where do I want it, though? We were already short up here, man. What an entry short, dude. That was wild.
Yeah.
Entry
yeah,
on
that,
ES was...
Yeah.
What's that
That level on
say?
NQ too, right? 82 to
Yep.
90. It's like, bam.
I sold two at 59, 11.50. 11.50 is where they triggered in. Damn, it's still going. I should have gotten more contracts.
Yeah, it could hold here for a bit of a consolidation.
Got out 04. Got out 04. So that's where I look to see if possibly. And you know what it is too? NASDAQ at demand. I don't want to get back in a short expecting us to push lower just for it to chop back higher again, knowing that a lot of people are going to be chasing this move in the morning. But let's see. How's our volume profile? I like this pullback here. Point of control, that's what I wanted to see. Point of control is down there. Might re-enter one short. I'm re-entering one short on ES right here. I am looking for continuation, so stop loss wise is going to be right at the top. There we go. Nice. Nice. Again, I'm looking for continuation, so I was looking for a move lower off of this. Huge. Wow, what a re-entry. Fantastic. Come on. Give us one more move lower, and I'm going to get out. Oh my goodness, wow. One more drop. I'm out right there. Another quick, beautiful scalp, guys. Amazing, amazing stuff today. That was a no drawdown trade. Just got in 903 on that pullback as soon as this 5 opened. Was looking for continuation because remember I said I wanted to look at that volume footprint. This is the footprint right here. And I saw that point of control was lower. And we also had a lot of volume to the downside, which was telling me selling pressure was moving us lower. We should be expecting this candle to continue. Got in on that. Stop loss was right at this high right here. Went for a quick little 1-to-1. Very confident trade though. Very little, no drawdown. Wow, that's clean, man. Quick move, low volume, too. Point of control's
Now we're
down
hitting
here again. Yep.
Nasdaq's hitting the weekly open. Last week's weekly open, we talked about that 3. Like depends on like I have 308. It could be what like different depending on calculation, but 308. That's what it's hitting from last week on NQ.
Got you, got you. Nice, yeah.
Some
Nope.
people consider it from a scalping point of view, just so people know, like especially at the end of the week, as value under. So like, let's say locally it gets under that you could take it up for some points, or you could stay bearish and you could just wait for it to get above and play on this area, right?
Yeah. Oh, 0375 was my follow-up entry. 0375. Got out 9775. 6 points. Just looking for the small moves. Confident moves. Would still look for continuation. I'd look to short these rips. But I'm not going to take any more trades right now, right? Just went 2 for 2. I'm going to be patient. Not going to let the market take back our profits. We're just going to wait. While we wait, what'd I do? I set something up. Right, I set 3 coupons, guys. I don't know if anybody here is looking for more one-on-one mentoring. This is more for Bullishbrs community members. Use discount code BB on Trading Pioneers for $50 off on the 3-pack. Where is it? 3-pack of trading sessions. $50 off. There are 3 coupons if you use discount code BB. So $200 for 3 sessions. Really great stuff. We go over everything you're looking forward to going through. If you want to, you can message me. I know some people, they'll message me a few questions, like a prep before our session, so we have things to go over beforehand. If not, some people will be ready beforehand with questions that they're ready to ask, whatever the case may be. But it's helpful because it's not just looking through a YouTube video where it might answer your question or it might lead you down a rabbit hole. We go over what might really help you, and we go over the specifics of your trading. So yeah, $50.
I really want this to stay above here, or else we're gonna get a visit into the 200s.
Yeah, no, I know. I see that. And we just swept that internal liquidity level lower on ES around, it's at like 58.95, 58.96. Yeah,
I've just been trading that the open and then this weekly open from last week's weekly open that's bouncing on right now. Because if it doesn't stay above it, then it's gonna go. It's gonna be looking for value inside of it.
Yeah. No, I'd sort of like us to keep moving lower, and the reason for that would be the volume is heavy to the downside still on ES. So that's what I'd be seeing, but we'll see. How are our equities doing? Let's take a quick look at our equities. Ninja Trader update deleted my platform. Oh man. Ninja Trader, man. Alright, let's see. Equities. Meta is within range. Tesla is trying to get back within range, but it just broke below previous day low. Nvidia previous day low. Amazon previous day low. Apple's not loading. And Microsoft is within range. Let's get Apple on here.
You guys got any tips about how to walk away at the end of the day?
As soon as you're up to your goal, man, just turn it off. Go for a walk. That's what I do.
Nope, log off. No more trading. You hit your goal, you cannot trade anymore. Trade it. I wouldn't even say trade a different account, because then you're still promoting bad behavior. So I would just, like Random said, just turn it off. You hit your goal. That's your job. Your job as a day trader is to hit that goal. Job's done.
And my other job actually requires me to sit at the same desk though, and I keep getting tempted, you know.
Oh, okay, I
I
gotcha.
need to find a way of like being able to sit at my rig but not trade.
Just look at charts.
Any
Look at
tips,
different
guys? Let me know.
charts.
Change over to paper.
Change over to paper. Look at different charts. Yep. What's that code again? It's BB, like bullish bears. BB. There we go. ES looking like it's ready to move lower. Yeah, that's a great point. Those sessions that I just pointed out, I go over how to use Bookmap with you, go over how to use Footprint with you, any specifics you're looking for. Not much like a YouTube video. There we go. Weighted index down here is pushing lower, guys. Check this out. So I'd be looking for ES and NQ to also be continuing. But look at the low volume coming in here. That's a little bit of a red flag right now. I'd sort of wait. I'm not a fan of that. Looks like it's ready to
I'm not
drop.
a fan at all about this price action up right now.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I took like don't get me wrong, I traded my little scalps there, but yeah, holding wise, like it's looking, yeah, it's got to hold this level or we're gonna get a 200 visit.
You know, it's looking like somebody might tweet something or some news might come out at some point, and we're just gonna get some type of spike up because even volume wise right now it's so low. There's just like, it's very strange. Usually at this point it's 942, but I could see us continuing lower. Weighted index going lower, NASDAQ moving lower. I could see ES dropping here. Just don't want to chase it.
Yeah, exhausted. Post in here if you have this level right here for a possible bounce between here and 278 on NQ. So you should have 96 this bounce between 96 and 76. Just post in the main if you have the same level.
Popped up and said there was an update. Oh, okay. NAS looking a bit weaker right now. Weighted index is at that previous session low. Maybe that's
so we'd want to bounce there. Oh, sorry, it's just exhaust was asking me a question. So we'd want if we have the same level, we'd from a scalper's perspective, from using range, you'd want to be bouncing from where it bounced here between there and 76. So just confirm you got that.
Nice. Volume moves markets.
Perfect. So let's say we stay above exhausted, then you shouldn't be bearish on this action if it gets past 335, and you'd look for it to try to take out that high pre-market in the 400s or in the 390s. If that's the case, if it holds the level you just showed, yeah.
All right, let's see. Look at that. NASDAQ ripping lower at the moment, breaking that recent 5-minute low. ES has failed to. Got some strength there.
Hello, can you hear me? Good morning.
Hey, good morning. What's going on, Dan?
Okay, thanks. Yeah, yesterday was really good. And I'm just looking at the Asia low incoming at 21,275 on NQ. Could be a chance to a quick scalp buy.
Nice.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Like if it stays under the 300s here, it's not good. We could get a 200 to 250 drop. So we really want to stay in this region here. Really between what you're seeing and like the 90 and 96 and 76, that $20 range.
I have problems when there are contracts rollovers. All my trend lines get moved like 100. You know, Olaf, there's a way to fix that. I went over that the last stream, but if there's a rollover, like there was one on gold recently, and it moved 27 points. So if that happens, we'll look at crude for a second as an example. So when that happens, right, all of our charts move, right, because the rollover happened and we have our B adjust on. If we're trying to fix that, we would come over here to where it says object tree, this little square looking thing. And we're going to click the top one. We're going to scroll all the way down, hold shift, and click the bottom one. What that does, it selects all of your drawings. You're going to come up to settings. You're going to go to displacement. And in this first slot, you're going to do however off it is. So if it was moving all of your zones up 27 points, you would then do minus 27 points. Now, if it's only by like 0.5, you do have to do 0 in front. You can't just do 0.5. You have to do 0.5. Same with like negatives. Negative always has to have a 0. So negative 0.5. Let's see, 0.5 if that was the case. But yeah, that's how you would change and move all of them. So let's do plus 10. Moved them all up 10. Minus 10. Moved them back down. And to do the math to figure out where they would be, go to a trend line or a horizontal ray where you have it placed out, and you'll see that that's where it's originally from. Then you would just take your ruler tool and you would bring it from wherever it started to wherever you know it originated from, and that would give you the math on that. It would tell you, okay, 0.69, I'll do 0.69 of a difference. Whoa, look at that wick. Nice. Nas definitely looking weaker here. Michigan sentiment at 10. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. That's why community's so important. We had PCE also at 8:30. Michigan consumer sentiment at 10. 12 minutes. That could also help the market. Kevin dropping that. Yes, sir. You know it. Killing it, guys. Killing it today. Great Friday. Great way to end the week. Yeah, no, I got you. Yeah, no, a lot of people do it manually, but that's a trick with TradingView you could do. Very helpful. Very convenient. That's our goal here at Bullishbrs. Make everything convenient for you. Got videos on everything. Streams every morning, almost every afternoon. VIX has been between two key levels today, about like 19 and about 1975. So we have been pretty range bound. Markets have been range bound all week. Would really just wait here. 15-minute time frame. 30-minute. Hourly. Whoa. There we go. Finally. We're gonna drop like it's hot. CVD's dropping right here. Let's see. Careful, don't sell the lows. Don't sell. Don't hit that sell button. I see you. Don't do that. That was close. He almost did. He almost shorted the lows there. See that? Alright, now we could get in a short if we really were confident. I'm not taking
It's been some
this.
tough action, price action today, man.
Sheesh. Yes, sir. Damn, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you can tell, I got most of my trades off of that level me and exhaust we're talking about, and I played between that and the 41. So I was just longing and shorting in between, to be honest with you.
Nice, man. Yeah, look at this guy's great price action, great push lower today. I almost want to get back in ES here, but I'm just not a chaser. Not a chaser. Plus, we're hitting demand right here. I don't know how we're going to react off this demand. I know that there are people trying to take these shorts lower. 58.90, very strong level on ES right here. 58.90, I will watch that. How are we looking on our volume? Let's see.
You know, we're needing to hold here. We're going to visit 228. Or the two, like, remember we were talking like between 250 and 200? Basically the median of it.
Yep. Alright, here's 58.90 on ES. See how we react to it. I don't want to jump in long right away in case we just melt right through. Weighted index just dropping like it's hot. VIX pushing higher off of a key level, which is bearish. Most equities are moving lower at the moment. So I would not take a long yet. Wait to see if maybe we could get back above this 58.90 level. Look for a retest. If we can't get back above it, there are no longs. There are simply no longs. Can move our entry point up a little bit so we can be a bit more patient. If we just keep going, bye-bye. That's crazy though, man. I had shorts around 59.11 on ES. That was wild. Could have definitely held much.
Premarket was
much
funny
longer.
though, right? We talked about it. Gets under 300, it's going to 250. Boom.
Yep. Nice. Major levels here. A lot of selling volume. Beautiful.
Did we sell the top, Kev?
Yeah.
I did it for $5. You did it for more.
I only got what I get. I got 7 points out of the first move, and then I got 6 out of the next. I got 13 of it.
That's huge, man. That's
Yeah, no, it was
I'm
good.
talking about NQ. That's like 4 million points on NQ.
No, it was a great move on great moves on ES. Simple reads today. Very good price action. I liked it. Definitely watching to see if we can get back above that 58.90 still.
There's that 225 support coming, and
Yeah,
that could be the manipulation before a distribution.
Exactly.
So-
Yeah, like under
Yeah.
228 is how I have it. I'm not gonna entertain like longs until we get under 228.
I need point of control to move higher to be long. If we don't get higher on point of control, we'll probably push lower for a little bit longer. But pretty good spot on ES. I like where we are on ES, especially because NASDAQ is close to breaking that market low too. And that might give us a little divergence here. Just need the weighted index equities to start pushing back higher. Okay, ES, let's see. I like the buying pressure building up under us. I'm going to try to take this at 58.90.75. No, come on. I saw that hit 90.75. You're supposed to fill me there. Could always wait a second just to make sure. Look for the retest. Oh, it did fill me. I'm looking over here. I'm looking at Bookmap. I'm looking left. I'm looking right. Up, down. I am in a long 58.90.50 on ES. Would like to see if we can move back towards 59.03. Nice quick move there. Beautiful reaction. Wow. Wow, look at that. 40 seconds left in this. I'm going to just manually get out there for the scalp because I just
Good
hit
job.
above.
Good
Yeah, thank
job.
you. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a nice, quick little move right there.
I'm gonna be a wimp and I'm gonna wait to see lower. So I'm just not convinced.
I think it might pull. Yeah, look at this. Wow. I was watching that 58.90, which lined up that was previous day low, and it was in a demand zone, guys. Good stuff, good stuff.
It was only 7 points away from the data low, so that was cool. Well done, Kev.
Ooh. Point of control didn't move higher. Point of control is still down here, but how's the delta? It's still negative. We'll see. See if we could retest 58.90 again. If we retest 58.90 again and look to hold, I would probably re-enter long. Nas is just much weaker right now. So that's why I scalped that one. I wasn't that confident. Here's that pullback. I would say 58.90 because this was 58.90 is a strong price level right here. YouTube guys, make sure you hit that like, make sure you comment, let me know what you're trading, if you're taking any trades, make any money with us today, let me know. Alright, here we go, hitting that 58.90 area again. Could consider longs off this demand retrace. Let's see. I think this was our retest right here, 58.91. Oh, let's see. There, Nas is moving lower. 58.90 was what I wanted a retest of. But this demand zone, 58.91.75, is holding. Look at that ES looking good on ES, 58.90. Bro, that's crazy. We shorted the top. And then I just took a long on off the bottom for a moment. For a scalp. We'll see. There we go. That was our dip re-entry, probably 59.80. I'm not in it. Obviously, I would have told you guys I'm in it, but I am not in this on ES right now. Mainly because NASDAQ seems a lot weaker. If NASDAQ looked like it was also trying to flip here, then great. But it's not, and equities are still looking a little weak right now. Look at Microsoft trying to move lower. Apple a little range bound. Amazon at support though. Nvidia making new lows. Tesla pushing lower but holding VWAP. And Meta trying to move higher. Equities are all at a flip right now. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are all doing well. Happy Friday. It is Friday, May 30th. What a great way to end the week. We went 3 for 3 for today. Beautiful. Beautiful. Using that volume, using our patience. A win is a win, yes sir. I would have been, if I hadn't already taken the 3 for 3, I would have been in this trade right here off of this demand zone because I do like this for longs at this point. Random, you seeing anything?
On like on
NASDAQ.
NQ exclusively, or
No, NASDAQ's fine.
yeah, NASDAQ. It's still in a bearish pattern. So what I'd prefer is if it could get a hold of into the 90s, right, 300, and then pump. If not, I'm still sort of waiting for lower.
Gotcha.
I'm okay missing this, not catching a bottom until it can grab a hold and change, our
state.
Our state, so I can miss 20, another 20 points up and see if it holds and changes direction. Because we were talking earlier, if it does,
Yeah.
and we said it could go to 250, that fine, great, but then there was that 550 mark it could do too, right? So I don't want to just be bearish all day if it's going to do that. I'd rather just, I have my 200 to 250 level I'm watching, and then I'm willing to change my mind as it grabs levels and goes up.
100%. 100%. Cool, man. Awesome. Yeah, no, I like it. And I like, again, what Random points out to is huge. If it moves and it does want to have some type of change of state, break of structure, whatever you want to call it, where, okay, now we're bullish, well, then it's going to need to break those highs, and then we're going to see continuation. So it's okay for us to miss that initial move to break those highs, because then we're going to be in the trade for the continuation on the retest. But instead of trying to anticipate, oh, this is definitely the low I want to hold till up there, and then possibly get stopped out because we are going to continue lower or we are range bound, well, then that's not how we want to be in a trade. Michigan consumer sentiment right now. Let's see. Sorry, I wanted to wrap that up. I didn't realize. I was looking at Bookmap. I'm like, why is volume getting so... And then I looked at the time, and it was like 9:59:58, and I'm like, oh, shoot. And that, too, I would have been out of the trade because who wants to hold into news like that? Not me. No, sir.
Yeah, it's good we were talking instead of trading.
Yeah, right? No joke.
That could have been ugly, right?
No joke, yeah, right? Been in like a short position on that, like, oh, volume's moving to the downside. That hot red line is calling it. Yep, this hot red line, this is passive sellers. So if price is below it, this is a passive seller on Bookmap. If price is above it, so like these orange levels, these are passive buyers. So these strong areas of passive sellers, usually work as magnets, right? They usually work pretty well. And they usually get some type of reaction. So now what was that? 58.98. That might be our next area to possibly enter if we could retest it again.
So this could be
58.98.
a
Oh, I feel like
change
that's a
of
little high.
right. Yeah, this could be our change of structure that I was saying I'm fine missing, and then I could just trade it up, right?
Yup. 100%.
Which I just took a scalp there.
Nice. Look at that, guys. Beautiful. Demand. Supply. Just gotta trust our levels, trust our zones, know when news is coming out. Have our price levels, everything. So a lot of passive sellers sitting up here between 59.06 and 59.10. They all just formed in up here. 59.10. Remember that 59.10, guys? Why does that sound so familiar? Oh, we shorted that this morning. We shorted that. Was near the highs. 59.11 was where we took our short. New layers are being added above. Yep. So this is a new active seller stepping into the market. Rand, what you
can see
hitting?
I
More
waited, right?
trades?
See, I waited and it was like bang, bang, bang after. See?
Nice, man. Here we go.
Oh, I could show you exhausted trader. I'll take a pic. One sec.
I would look for this 58.97 area on ES for possibly a retest long.
Hey, Kev, sorry, I'll just explain to him. So basically, it went down for a deviation. We had that 250, right? Between 200 and 250. So then it comes back in, and what I was saying was I was fine missing most of it, and I could just get up once it gets a hold of it. You can see it broke through, came back down. So I grabbed two longs and a short off of it breaking there. And all of that was is basically if it gets above, why be bearish? We had the level of 200 250, right? So once it deviates and then gets above, you have to sort of switch your mind and you have to go into this could now be support. Does that make sense? Just type in if that makes sense.
All right, 98 I think is a bit higher up. Where that level of resistance was. Resistance, now I want to see it flip and use as support. Now, happy journey if you're still here on YouTube. These layers that are being added above, because they're recent and they're just being added right now, they could be pulled at any moment. What this is this is active liquidity. So our current order book, which would be usually our depth of market, that shows us our heat map. So these orders could be pulled. So what's important is the price levels that have been there for a long period of time. Those are the ones that normally won't get pulled because they've been sitting there waiting. Those are the passive orders. These orders that come in, come out, come in, come out, those could, like I said, come in and come out. They could spoof them. They could make it look like we have resistance and then pull it before we get into it. So we just want to wait right there. Let's see. Some low volume again near this 12 area. This is where we caught that first short this morning. And I wouldn't be against shorting it again. Did me no wrong this morning. But we'll see. No, we'll see. I'd much rather try to take these longs. Let's see how that Michigan consumer sentiment came in. Actual 4.2%, forecast was 4.6%, prior was 4.4%, so it came in lower. Focuses on three areas: consumers view prospects for their own financial situation, how they view prospects for the general economy over the near term, and their view and perspective on the economy over the long term. Each month's survey contains about 50 core questions, each of which tracks different aspects of consumer attitudes and expectations. A sample for surveys of consumers are statistically designed to be representative of all American households, like I mentioned earlier, excluding those of Alaska and Hawaii. Yeah, 'cause screw Alaska and Hawaii, am I right? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know why they would do that. Each month, a minimum of 500 interviews are conducted by telephone. I guess they don't qualify with how expensive Hawaii is, and I don't know about Alaska. It's too far away to calculate. Phones don't reach over there. I don't know. We could look it up. I'm sure if we look it up, it would tell us. But that's always interesting to find what these sentiments and what these reports are coming in at. Because if it's coming in lower and people are struggling more in the economy, then guess what? Markets are usually going to reflect that. And again, uncertainty stepping in, it's a huge red flag. Heard about that white line and it representing everything left of it being a single buyer or algo. Yes, exactly. You must follow, what's his name, that Austin guy on Instagram. Yeah, I went over, that's pretty funny. I went over that with Bruce from Bookmap. Yeah, couple weeks ago, he wanted me to make a video for them on that. That's the large lot tracker. 20%. Oh, it's not even showing anything right now. But that's a pretty good one. Here we go into that 59.10 again. Look at this passive seller got hit at 59.10. Let's see if they want to protect their order or if they want to get ran through. I'm fine with waiting. I wanted to swap to the longs. We saw these longs. I was in the long over here. Remember, we caught that on a scalp, but I didn't like it anymore. We were getting a little weak. Volume was weird, and we had news coming up. So, with that being said, I got out of it. I'm glad I did. I wouldn't want to hold it into news anyways, because we don't control the news or how the markets react to it. So, with that being said, it could have completely dropped against me, blew through my stop loss, and I would have taken a stronger loss. And that's not how we want to trade. We're risk managers, not just traders. There we go. I like this rejection off that 59.10. I'd consider a short here with a stop loss at 59.10. Let's see. If we react off this again, VIX is pushing lower, but it is at a key level. Let's see. I was thinking about it. I don't know. Not a fan of it.
That's my day. I just got stopped on that last one, so I'm done.
Nice. Let's go, bro. Let's go. Random killing it today.
Yeah, so I'm not really if it keeps this trend like we were talking about, it hit that minimum criteria between 200 250 and honestly it could go up, at least into the 450s to 500s. So I'm just going to maintain that as long as it's above 300, why be bearish, right?
Yep. Well, here we go. Let's see. CVD has been climbing higher. Bro, I'm hungry. I'm the same way, man. I'm done for the day on those three probably. And then whenever I get done, I get hungry. Market's like, all right. Victoria, you still here? Yeah, you are. A good way, you were asking earlier, how can you get yourself to stop? Reward yourself.
Yeah.
If you hit your daily goal, give yourself some type of reward. If there's some type of pastry that you like or some type of specific food, as funny as it sounds, when we train animals, animal instinct is you do something good, you get rewarded. Reward yourself after you hit your daily goal. It'll then build
Reward
some.
myself. If I've stuck to my rules and I'm walking away, that's the trick, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yep, stick to your rules, walk away, and once you're able to stick to your rules and walk away because you hit your either take profit or your daily stop, say, okay, if it was daily stop, that would be this reward. If it's your daily goal, then it would be something that you really like, right? Because again, we're trying to trick and train our brains, because trading is really all psychological, to say, okay, this is what I want to do and this is how I should do it.
Yeah, okay. No, that's a good idea actually, because if you reward yourself, even if you don't realize it, psychologically you're building that neural pathway, aren't you?
Yep, absolutely. Because every time you do it, you're eventually going to be expecting that reward, that outcome.
This is starting to make sense to me. I'm profitable on paper now. So,
Good.
Ooh.
And like consistently for the last 2 months as well.
That's awesome. Oh my god, that's great, Victoria.
I just need to obviously refine myself. I might see if you're available, Kevin, for some tuition, just to see if I'm doing the right thing before I start taking this further, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me know. Always got some availability for you, Victoria.
Well, thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Guys, we're struggling to break through this 59.11, 59.12 area.
It looks like we're just sort of like like temporarily, not permanently, but temporarily extended. I was actually looking at NQ maybe pulling back some points, hopefully, right?
Yeah, no, I see
So,
that.
Yeah. We also there's a thing with Fridays on NQ. It's a statistic that whenever it starts to trend, don't fight it on the first hour. So let's say it went down, comes back up, and it's trending up. Most people try to short that, but it mostly stays that direction. So that's something to consider.
Boom. There we go. We might get, there's our break of structure, right? To the buy side. Still looking for us to pull back on ES. I'd like 5,900 for my entry longs now.
This is going to be a dream, Kev. You know, when you're like, I'll wait for a pullback, and it just like, nope.
Oh yeah, you
nope.
mean all of last week?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, remember that? It was just like that 1 or 2 days, it just kept climbing and climbing. And then it chopped.
Victoria, that's a good one for Victoria. See, so we couldn't get into trades because it just kept going. We wanted to get long, but we just couldn't get in.
Yep.
So you just sat and waited, yeah?
Sat and
Yeah,
waited.
it was horrible.
It was so bad. The boringest market you can imagine. I might like gold shorts here, but I'm probably done with this right now. I like what I do. I did the chart range volume profile. I like how that played out this morning with that fair value gap, so I might add that. Let's see, insert column. We're gonna edit this one. Chart range volume profile. Chart range. Show bid, show ask, not delta, and don't split. Fantastic. So look here on gold, we just hit this low volume area on the chart range, 3307. And that's right near the top of this broken demand zone, 3310. Here we go, ES pulling back, NQ pulling back. Guys, check out the ES was able to take out that opening price high. NASDAQ was not, so we have a little bit of divergence right now. We want to be a bit patient. Meta, new high of day. Tesla, new high of day. Nvidia is pushing back higher. And Amazon also new high of day as well. Microsoft rejected new high of day, but it did make one. Looking for some longs at some point down here, maybe. We'll see. It's really going to have to meet our criteria. We're at 58. Yeah, right over here. Perfect. 58, 98, 5900. That's where I'm looking for longs on ES. We can look for a nice trade on that. That's that enjoy your weekend kind of trade. Everybody was watching, waiting for a retest. I was looking at trading with Oakside trading system on ES and EMA and RSI confirmation. Driving through the mountain signal keeps dropping. Alaska's too cold to matter. I heard him say it in the book map guy before. Gotcha,
See,
gotcha.
exhausted how it grabbed it and we were saying you'd be safe to take it back up to the original rejection zone, and then if it gets on top, you can start trading again. So what I do is, let's say it gets above and then it gets into that rejection zone that we failed from, I could just wait until it gets above and holds, because then if it does, there's more points to come, right? If it doesn't, I don't want to be trapped in there, and then, that's not a place we want to be because we don't control markets. It could just go right back down to the bottom, right?
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Go looking, man. I appreciate Random, guys. If you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button for Random too. One of the members here in our community, one of the best guys out there. Great trader, great range trader, trades with the ranges instead of time frame analysis. Very interesting. Very cool.
Thank you, thank you.
What range are you using on NASDAQ today?
80, 40 and 80 has always been my goat. But remember when it was moving a lot from tariffs, that we were moving up, and that was
400.
yeah, but like I went years of trading at between 40 and 80, and that's been my bread and butter, 40 and 80 range.
Okay.
If you guys, yeah, and if you guys trade TradingView, one of the easiest things you could do to follow that is you just type on your chart just 40R or 80R, and it'll bring up that range.
Alright, let's see. Range 40. Where'd I get 20 from?
20's overnight, or 20 is really good on gold right now. 20 is
Gotcha.
really good on gold. Yeah. Yeah, gold. You make some really good moves on gold on 20.
Nice.
But let's say your bread and butter on NQ most of the time, if it's moving, is 80. And it's sort of like exhausted just wrote in the main where it doesn't trade in the middle. So you could say, okay, from where it got a hold and made a move up to where it rejected, some people, what they do is, what he's saying is you just pull a fib. Not that you're using fibs, but you pull a
Yep.
fib and you say, like, do I really want to be on this trade long above 50?
Yep.
And that's what he's trying to say, is that if
Nice.
it's below 50, no problem. I'll look for trades on the range candles, the rejection candles below the 50%. He's just basically saying it's a smart move. I've done it for a long time. I always tell myself, do I really want to be bearish under 50 between the acceptance of the range and the rejection of the range? And do I really want to be bullish above that? So above 50% from the rejection of the range to the middle of the range. Do I really want to be bullish? So you could decide to stay on your hands. From a scalper's point of view, you don't need that many trades. So that sort of keeps you safe.
Nice. Yeah, no, that's smart. I like that. Listen, Fib's a great tool to use. And using that 50% retracement, right, seeing it as a premium or a discount level, that's awesome. I love that. Creating these higher lows off of demand here. Holding now. Remember that 59.10 was a resistance. Now we're sort of holding it as support. Did we retest 59.10? Not yet. How do you, let's see. Maybe not. No, just the like button on YouTube, I meant. He's part of the community. I was saying drop a like if you appreciate everybody's input. Everybody's input is valid, helpful, and awesome. Part of the community aspect. 59.20, next strong area on ES on Bookmap. Let's see NASDAQ. If NASDAQ has anything, 21.385. Hey, just pulled that. Probably going to run here. There we go. Quick test to 85. Be careful. Let's see. We are above. Look at this price level. Was sitting here for a little while. 21.380. And then they pulled it right before we broke it. I do think we probably have a better chance of continuing here than not. But we'll see. Don't chase these highs, guys. Just gotta be patient. Let's see how our equities are doing. See if equities have been bullish. Check this out, guys. Tesla, bottom left over here, has been making new higher days for the past 15 minutes. Meta, same thing, past 15-20 minutes, new high a day. Microsoft made one new high a day and then it pulled back. Has been green though for a little while. Same with Apple, Amazon, and Nvidia is not at new high a day yet. Only one that's really struggling. If we could get back above that 137, that'd be great, but we are coming off a very key level of resistance at 140. But we could see if we get back above VWAP and target 140. Which again would help our bull move. So let's wait to see if we can get a pullback here. Could throw our fib tool up here. Now we won't have our fib retracement levels until we start to actually get our pullback towards them, right? Because we don't know where our high is just yet. Right now we are starting to pull back, so we shall see. Remember, this 5910 was a major area of resistance. Now could be support. Also, a bit of a low volume profile right there too at 5910. Like 1250 to 10. That would be this trade right here. Let's see. Right, let's see. 5912. So move that down by 2 ticks. Stop loss up a couple ticks. This might also be a possible setup. Depending on, right? Because this would be a setup if we don't pull back all the way over there. And also, because this was an area of resistance this morning, gave us a great short. Let's see if it wants to work as support now for a long position. I was wrong. Bears lost control. 40R on daily, 20R at night on gold. What was... I think you just said 20 range on gold in general, right, Random?
Sorry, say it again.
Somebody was asking on YouTube 40R on daily and 20R at night for gold, but I think you said 20R for in general for gold.
20 on gold in general is good. If you want a higher time frame perspective on gold, type in so gold trades in 10-cent increments. So range is pretty easy. So range would be like you could go 2 because that's like 20% is fine, but then you'd want to go 2, 50, and 100. Why? Because then that's like half a lot of gold and a whole lot of gold. And so 100 would be $10. So if you're looking for higher time frame analysis, like strong levels on range on gold, you'd want to be at 100 and then trade on the 20. So think like 100 would be a 1 hour or 2 hour, and 20 would be more like a 5 or 15 minute.
Nice. Alright, come on, ES. Not giving us our entry. It's alright. Then we wait. We wait and we wait and we wait. While we wait, go follow on Instagram. It's the last time I'll say it. Come on, ES. I'm looking for that 5912, 5910 area for a retrace and an entry long. 5920 might be next target on ES. We do have divergence. NASDAQ hasn't taken out that market open high yet. Here's that pullback on ES a little bit. We'll see. This low volume area. Alright, let's see. Hasn't given us our entry. Really looking for this blue zone to work as support now. It would help, I guess, if we took out Nasdaq's high right here first and then pull it back too. That would give me more confirmation, more strength on that entry.
Is Mike in live right now?
Mike, yes, he is.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we can explain it quick
Yeah.
if Kev's cool.
Yeah, dude, go for it. I might holler if ES hits 59.12, which of course it's gonna play around with us during the meantime. But no, go for it.
What are you watching? You're watching ES and NQ. So could we put NQ on 80 range? Just like type in ADR and NQ, just so I can explain to him.
Yeah.
Okay, so we could see on NQ there, Mike, that with range, you want it to be the most in your favor. So I trade like Kevin in the sense of support and resistance. So you can see that right now we're up at resistance. We had a sell-off candle range at the high previous and then a dump, right? So to me, that's a no trade zone. I don't want to short it, don't want to long it. I'd rather get on top of it. So Kev, can you point out like how it rejected? It was like a rejection candle at the top there. Yeah, like basically right there. Seeing it rejected there. Okay. I'm okay now, so I'll take it from the bottom of trade all the way up there. Once it gets up there, though, I can take a break, wait for it to get on top, get a footing, and then take it to the next level. So range trading is very much getting in on, let's say it's coming down as an example. It's coming down into range. I'm not going to get in the middle of any range candle. I'm going to wait for those juicy ones lower to the right. So like you got to think it moved up and it's had no rejection yet, except that where Kevin has what looks like to me a white line there. See, there's a white line there. Yeah, and if you go to the right, you'll see there's only one all the way to the right. Yeah, there's only one red rejection candle. So what does that mean? Well, if it gets on top, great. I'll use the blue that he has marked out as support. But if it gets below, I'm not trading nothing unless I can see it hold that last rejection candle. We could do some not now, but like I'm on after hours like for gold, not every day, but 2-3 days a week. And if you're on at nights for like an hour, I could just share my screen and go over some of those levels on gold, and just like it gives you patience. If we're in an uptrend, we're looking at not trading the rejection, getting on top, using it as support, and then taking it to the next level. If it rejects, we're not looking to long it. We're waiting for it to get into the next rejection candle to look for longs, basically.
What times, Mike? These are range candles, so there's no time frame analysis on them. So they're just off ranges. So 40 range, 80 range, 400 range. But
Right, and yeah, and Kevin doesn't trade that small, like he watches it just because I talk about it. But as an example, he's more of he wants to get some bigger moves. So you could be like that too. So if you type in there 40R 400R, that's going to be a 100-point move, and that's more like what Kevin's looking for. So if we go on 400R, you'll see that it's more like like Kevin's and look at that right there. So what we see is we saw a break of structure on the left there. We saw a break of structure way on the left there, Kev. Right there. Oh, more right there. Yeah. We broke that last red range candle. That's how he trades. And so now, yes, we're bearish, but do we really want to be shorting into that? No, because usually it breaks and then it goes into, it moves up, and then if it's going to, yeah, exactly, it's going to continue down. So in range, and he's a higher range trader, he would have been looking to trade that until breaking, trade that as a long, and that's 100 points. So he would have marked that out, right, as support. And unless it broke, to his opinion, he's not bearish. It comes into it, he's looking for longs. And that's a 100-point range he's looking to trade. I hope that makes sense there, because maybe you're not a scalper like me, So if you're not a scalper like me, you could just strictly look at the 400 like basically Kevin does, and you can mark out those higher time frame support and resistance levels. And as they come into them, yeah, you can go down to the 80 range, and then you could kind of refine it, but you'd have a better overview. Does that make sense, Kev? Like, am I explaining it right from support
Yeah.
resistance how you trade?
100%.
So if you notice the way Kevin talks, so it's coming into his time frame levels, 1 hour, 4 hour, 15-minute. Range is the same, but you're waiting for, you don't know when it's going to happen, right? Because there's no time. But because Kevin's a more of a 100-point trader, 50-point trader, all he would do is if he was trading range is he'd wait for it to come into that 400 range candle, right? That he identified as support until proven otherwise. He'd go down to the lower time frames, range candles, 80, and he'd look to refine to get in, and he wouldn't be scared out of his trade, right? Because again, his analysis is it's support until otherwise.
Yep.
And so he would look to take that up to 100 points from there. Now when it breaks, right? He's not necessarily bearish. That's how support resistance works. You're not necessarily bearish. When it breaks, great. It usually comes back into that range, that support range, and that's where you'd be looking a little bit higher to then take it break of structure. It's now resistance. Same methodology. I just use range candles.
Awesome, man. Cool. Yeah, I think you explained it great. Mike and Johnny, I think Johnny was also asking, you guys sort of understand a bit better now range-wise?
Yeah, it's literally how Kevin trades. Like, that's why I like watching him. It's just that I just use range. It's the only difference. But if he could explain it to you probably better live and maybe make videos, because it is the same. Again, it's just not time-based, right? That's the only difference. And he would be looking at 400R because it's 100 points. He'd be looking at 1000R because it's 250 points. But the methodology he uses, the trading system he uses, would remain the same.
You know what, too? I think that's also something to point out. The range, it measures the ranges by ticks. So if it's a 40, right? So if it's a 40 range, that's 10 points on NASDAQ because 40 range, right? Wrong, maybe?
Yep.
Awesome.
It's all tick based. Yep.
So it's all tick based. That's why if you're looking at ES and NASDAQ, right? We're looking at both of them right here. If I put the 40 range on, I'm going to see a lot less candles than I will on ES than compared to the NASDAQ, because NASDAQ has a much wider range, much higher ATR, so you would need a lower range on that. So range is basically just, it's sort of like a tick chart, but not exactly like a tick chart. Tick charts usually go off of time and sales. This is a range chart. So every time a tick moves, that's one more range towards this candle that forms. Cool. I'm still waiting on what's it called?
I'm going to be out for now, though, Kev. That was a great stream, guys. Talk to you later.
Yo, talk to you later, man. Great stream today. Good stuff. Appreciate you. All right, let's see. Give us that pullback. That open price is 59.12.25. We also have that low volume shelf there too on ES now. Are you talking about like the weekly open price and stuff? It's weekly open price, you could probably, if you go to indicator, do backslash, do like weekly. It says opening gap, opening high and low close. Let's say open, weekly opening gap, weekly opening range, weekly opening line, current week only, weekly open, whole bunch of different ways. But for ranges, you would come up here where you have your candlesticks chosen, go to bar style, And you would come down to ranges. Right here, range. Alright, ES is pulling back. Let's see if we get that. Time is it, guys? Is it time to close up shop? Call it a weekend? I have to run post. Well, Johnny, what do you need me to post? Just the ranges, like how to find the ranges? Gotcha. Wow, look at that, guys. Market's just pumping. Then you probably have to go to the time frame interval. Add custom interval. Style is range. Add the 20, 40, 80, and 400. Alright. Guys, beautiful trades today. Round of applause to all of us. You one shut it down. If you're talking to me, I usually mean 5 minutes. Everything I feel I can. Happy I was not talking to you before. I was talking to, I think, Johnny on YouTube, in our Discord community, was asking for some screenshots about the ranges. Use the 5 minute. You want to shut it down. Yeah, no, I know, right? Markets are done right now. Markets are just about right. We had a nice, beautiful shorts this morning. Caught these longs for a pop. Got out because we had poor price action and economic news coming out at 10, which was our Michigan consumer sentiment, which gave us this trend higher. And that's all she wrote for today, guys. It was a great trading day. Caught 3 for 3 on it. Now that's how we end our Fridays. That's how we end our weeks. Guys, have a, I don't know, what time is it? 10:40? What do you guys think? Got an ES alert, 59.24. Let's see, 59.24. Yeah, I like 24. Yep, I had 22 to 26. Those were in key area I was looking for today. Alright, let's see. Getting a rejection here off of 59.20. We saw the passive seller sitting here for a little while on Bookmap and it was hit. Hey, have a great weekend, Fairchild. Take care, man. We'll see you Monday. Here we go. Is ES gonna give us our pullback? That's a pretty strong pullback right there. Quick 5 points off of 59.20. I'd like to see how we react to 59.12.25 if we can pull back to it. We do have some strong negative delta down here. We have a very low volume shelf at 59.11, 59.11.25. So I want to see if we could reconnect, right? Rebalance the market there, rebalance the books for any orders that weren't filled. $3.24, guys. Market's probably not going to give us a good setup here. We'll be patient. We'll see if it does want to hit that zone. It is 10:40 right now. We already had some great trades. Usually, guys, I recommend, listen, if you go 2 for 2, 3 for 3, call it a day. Do not overtrade. If you hit your daily goal, call it a day. Do not overtrade. Somebody said something. Oh, yeah, 10.24. So, yeah, 22, 24, 26, very strong area for resistance. Of course, wait for confirmation. Maybe look for a 15-minute time frame to reject there. Look at those recent pivot highs. We see that this zone, very strong. 3 times in the past 24 hours, we rejected it. So, you know, you might also be able to get a scalp off of it. But I would be careful taking shorts because buyers have had some strength since Michigan consumer sentiment off of this demand zone. And also, I was looking for us to close higher today bullish because we took out that previous day low and we are above our open price right now. So I wouldn't necessarily be too quick to grab any shorts, but we could wait and see. Right here comes that 59.12. Come on, 59.12. We have 2 minutes left in this 5-minute. And we might stay range bound for the rest of the day too up here. That can also be a factor. Let's see, weekly. Yeah. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to wrap the stream up there. Markets are fairly choppy. Don't forget, if you guys do want a discount on some mentorships, let me pull that up real quick. Guys, go to tradingpioneers.net. It's my one-on-one mentor site. It's very helpful, guys. We work on whatever you're looking to work on, whether you need help just setting up your trading view charts, you need help getting started with a prop firm, you're not too sure on your sizing. I also have under resources, I have a free trading journal for you guys to download right here. Go to programs and packages, $50 off for the 3, so it's basically buy 2, get 1 free. Use discount code BB, like Bullish Bears. Discount code BB. There are about 3 of those coupons out right now. I want to do that for an end of the month type of deal for you guys because Apex also has a major sale for 90% off too. So a lot of good stuff out there. Bullishbrs members, if you do want the 2-month, let me know because I will give you guys a good discount off of this as well. So everybody take care, happy trading, and I will see you guys on Monday. Take